In terms of water, when we take water, you've got your bladder pack. Was it Osprey bladder pack?
I do have an Osprey.
Now, I tried these camelbacks and I had a range of quite cheap options from eBay. And the only thing that let it down, I don't like those packs purely because with the large screw section on the top, you've really got to cinch it down quite tight, and sometimes they leak if you're not quite on it. And I looked at some reviews and I came across, there are a couple of different versions of this. There's one where you can actually fill it up from the top here, and you've got like a little bit of plastic that you pull and it seals it. I just went for this 3 litre. You don't have to put 3 litres in it, but the Platypus, and it's absolutely fantastic. And I'll tell you what I like about it is the fact that those, with some of that sort of flexy, rubbery material, they tend to make the water taste, well, disgusting. You can just taste rubber. I don't know what yours tastes like, but this is just like drinking normal water that you get out of a bottle, to be honest. So I highly recommend the Platypus. Absolutely brilliant. Love it. What have you got?
What have I got?
You got the Osprey.
I have. What's to say about it? You put water in it, just old 3 litres.
Actually, a top tip for you guys. I'm sure most people know this, but I generally, and he's got a couple of bottles as well. One he uses to actually hammer in the 10 pegs, but this, just a aluminium bottle. Don't generally take water up in this. It's just used for cooking in the evening. Filter the water into the bottle, but on really cold trips that we've done, and I saw this online, basically fill it with hot water, boil some water, fill it about 3/4 of the way up, and put it into a sock, and then put it inside of your sleeping bag, and it's toasty for about 3 hours. Fantastic.
Good tip. Top tip.
What else we got there, my friends? Should we get on to the tech?
I think
what about you need to take, absolutely, you need to take a compass and map. Right, that's kind of a given, but what else have you got?
Well, I was obviously using my iPhone with some map software on it. I've since sold my Apple Watch and I've purchased a Garmin Epix, which enables you to have a map actually on the watch. I won't go into details with it, but it's a great little device to lock onto where you are in case you get really stuck as an emergency.
You bought that from eBay, didn't you?
I did get it off eBay. I got it for about 160 quid, I think.
Did you pay extra for the maps?
You do have to pay OS for the extra maps and stuff. They're kind of how much they cost now. But obviously, if you buy a normal map, you normally get an option for a downloaded version as well, which you can utilise in some software.
What else have we got?
Right.
Walking poles. What about walking poles?
Not that technical.
This is a random video, folks.
Not that technical, but I've just got a couple of Robens bog standard walking poles for when things get a bit tricky with the amount of weight that we seem to be carrying. They're very useful, mainly for coming down after a couple of days up in the fells. I found I struggle coming down more than I do going up, so that they're good to have a bit of support.
Yeah, I found that. I don't tend to use them. I can't get on for walking up, to be honest, but I generally use one, and I use it for coming down purely because you're with your backpack on. If it's quite steep, you can always put a pole out in front of you just to stop yourself falling forward, and for that reason alone, they're worth their weight in gold, to be honest. I know other people kind of steam up the fells with their sticks. I don't tend to use them, but
right, okay.
Oh, we're getting onto the tech.
We are. Last time we went out was our first proper video after making the decision we needed to do a bit more documentation about what we do, because taking photographs is great, but it doesn't really give people the true sense of like where you've been. So we were using the GoPro Hero 5, which I purchased just prior to our first trip to Snowdonia, which is why we ended up taking it and doing some filming. It's not the best video in the world, we appreciate that, but since we did that, we quite enjoyed the process, and we did a bit of research, and I've gone a bit mad over the last couple of months with buying some bits and pieces to aid in our our pursuit of better videos. First and foremost, the Sony A7s. The daddy of low light photography and videoing, apparently. We've yet to actually try it as a proper video camera anywhere. So the Buttermere trip's going to be the first go with it. We're hoping that it will improve the quality of the footage, etc. Only time will tell. I have the option of 2K in camera. The A7 only does 4K out camera, so you have to have an external monitor, which obviously I'm not going to take because that's more weight to take. But I like to normally do 2K, edit it in 2K, and then when we re-encode it for YouTube, it goes to 1080 to try and alleviate some of the compression that YouTube sticks.
Has a flippy out screen as well.
And it has a flippy out screen that doesn't flip out too far, to be fair. I would have preferred it if it had kind of come out like that, but it's good enough to get strange angles and stuff.
So what was this beast of a low light monster then? How much was that second hand?
This cost me £1,200 just for the body, which I still think was a very good price to pay for a second-hand A7s Mark 1, but hopefully we're going to be able to capture some better images, video images with this alongside the GoPro.
Also goes 100 frames per second, so we can get some good slow-mo stuff on
Indeed,
there as well.
you know,
So apart from that and the Sony,
we're going for a bit of cinematic.
what is the big news for 2017, Mr. Andrew?
Well, the other thing is it was in my old Nikon DSLR bag.
Before you get it out, before you unveil,
Yes.
have you got your licence?
Have I got a licence? There is no licence to be had.
You got no pilot's licence?
I have no pilot's licence.
Okay.
But basically, I'm sure other people have been using the DJI Mavic, but it's something I've been looking at for a while, and I finally got one. And luckily, it all fits nice and snug into this little bag. So obviously, there's plenty of videos out there about a Mavic.
Is that 4K though?
This does record at 4K if you so wish. I still won't be doing that because my poor little PC will probably end up struggling when I'm editing that. Obviously it's so small, so compact. You may.
It's quite light as well.
Along with I think Tony Hobbs did a video recently where he was comparing the Phantom 2, I think he used to use, with the Mavic, and I think all told I'm looking at about 1.3 kilos, which to be fair is not.
Drop it, it's expensive.
It's not a lot different to how much my Nikon weighs when I used to take that, although I've since sold that to get the Sony.
So we've got drone footage coming, we've got quality footage recommended by Philip Bloom from the Sony A7s. We've got the kind of ubiquitous GoPro Hero 5 footage for when we're walking up and down.
What I will say before we continue is obviously that's a lot of gear that I take along with the phone, etc. But I can't charge everything, obviously. Certainly won't be able to charge the Mavic battery, but I can charge the Sony and the GoPro and my watch and a phone off of my Anker. What is this now? I think it's 2500 milliamp battery. Now this on its own weighs about 750 odd grams. It's a bit of a beast, but it's good for 10 full iPhone 7 charges. So I'm able to charge the GoPro. I should be able to charge the Sony and my phone because we normally go for 1 or 2 nights, so that should be plenty of battery power to keep us going and to hopefully keep you entertained throughout 2017.
Well, in terms of still footage, in terms of photography, that's really going to fall to me, to be honest, because Andy's pretty much, apart from his Sony, he's going to be the videographer. Although
so if it looks terrible, it's my fault.
It's basically, if it's a bit shaky or it's just not up to scratch, then leave a comment below. And specifically blame Andy. But for still photography, I'm going to be the camera that's actually shooting this right now is the Nikon D600 24 megapixel camera. I've just got the Tokina 16 to 28 2.8. I went and picked it up this morning actually from the post office, which is an absolute beast of a wide angle lens. Now I'm not really going to be shooting landscape on that. Well I am, but I'm not going to be shooting at 16mm. It'll be 20mm and above, to be honest. But it is super sharp. I paid £270 for that, and it rivals the Nikon the Canon lenses, the super wides. Absolutely fantastic. Also, other lenses, especially for landscape photography. Now the general walkabout lens is the standard Nikon kit lens, but it's not really a kit lens as we would come to see it. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic lens. The 24-85 3545 EDG, crisp as you like, super sharp, and it's quite compact as well, and it doesn't weigh very much. Absolutely fantastic glass. So sort of general photography out and about, that's the lens to go for. I'm going to be taking the Tokina as well for a bit of wide angle landscape photography, but what I do like is to use the nifty 50, the 50 1.8 Nikon lens, because what I find is when you've got these wide angle lenses, they change your perspective of the shot. So if you've got Andy standing on a mountain and there's a bunch of mountains just off in the distance, it flattens everything out. You don't get the same perspective. So what I've started to do is shoot with this nifty 50 and take multiple images and stitch them together. So to give you an example of that shot, we'll pop one in now. You look at it, it looks like a medium format shot. It's absolutely fantastic. So I'll be doing a lot with this lens.
And that's Jamie in the photograph, not me.
That is Jamie Ryder, my good friend. He should be coming out on some trips, actually, hopefully, but only when it's sunny. He won't come out in the rain.
I think that's pretty much us done. This is probably going to be far too long, so I'm going to have to edit it into 2, maybe even 3 parts, so who knows. Look out for our next video, which will be coming early March, which will be the Buttermere trip. Hopefully we'll have improved on the last video we did. It's a bit of a learning curve for both of us, so bear with us. Please keep subscribing, please keep liking, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Take care.